Travis Wayne Goodsell. I've apparently pissed off John Dehlin. Is it the video I did where I said he was giving me the middle finger? Was it the videos I've done denouncing psychology as a pseudoscience, exposing it for what it is and how it functions as a pseudoscience, not a legitimate scientific field, and how it frauds our government and the church now, how the church is now embracing the fraud of psychology on Mormons? Or was it just that he didn't like that I was defending his video against a Mormon who was attacking me? And so those of us who utilize YouTube on a regular basis, we've sort of caught on to the system that if we want to be the bad guys and troll people, we don't troll the channel creators themselves. We go to their audience. So if we're Mormon, we go to an ex-Mormon channel like John Dehlin, and we find people who support him and are making comments, and then we attack as Mormons who are Christian, full of love for our neighbor, and try to confound them with their hatred for Mormons because of what Mormons did to them in the first place, drawing first blood. And I don't know why he did it. Maybe the Mormon reported me. And of course, if you get the Mormon YouTube employees, we'll ban Travis's comment. Yeah, good thinking. Mormons got to stick together to destroy the world, right? The notifications don't show him making a last comment that got deleted. It was my last comment that John Dehlin deleted the whole chain. And I'm assuming it's John Dehlin. It could have been the Mormon, but the whole thing is gone. And it's his video, Mormon Stories number 1386, The Miracle of Forgiveness, why it should be removed. Interesting topic comparison from Deseret Book, The Banning of the Miracle of Forgiveness by Spencer W. Kimball. And my initial comment, which was in full support of banning it, giving my own real personal experience with the book as a Mormon. And John Dehlin, it's gone from his channel. Now, he doesn't seem to delete, but I'm seeing a lot of him loving people's comments. John Dehlin focused more on homosexuality in it, whereas I pointed out some other things from it that were more pertinent to me, because I'm not homosexual, I'm heterosexual, and so when homosexual matters come over the pulpit, it doesn't affect me directly. I can understand that they're bigots, but I'm more concerned about the things that they're attacking me with. As the church tends to attack everybody equally. And so I see John Dehlin putting hearts on a number of people. He didn't do it on Quacks Too Much, even though Quacks Too Much has 7 likes. And he skips over 3 people here, and then starts up with a couple of people, and then he did go through and put hearts where he thought it was appropriate. And so it's likely, therefore, John Dehlin is the one who deleted the whole chain debate. Now, why would he do that? Why would he cancel culture me, as he himself talks about not wanting to be a part of cancel culture? I'm the one who's supporting his video here. I'm not attacking him. I'm still waiting for him to say, hey, I want to know more about your story, as I had communicated with you, and then you emailed me, and then I'm sort of putting you off all these months. And so, yeah, it's mind-boggling. The video of mine is still here. Mormon Korahor cyberbully attacks me on a John Dehlin video. That's where I go over it. I read the whole comments, the whole comment chain, to my final reply, of which John Dehlin has now deleted. So the only way to find out about it is now going to my video. And it's been 2 days. It's already stopped. Nobody's going to come to that much anymore, unless something related in the future, like some other videos have done on my channel, for some reason pick up steam. For example, there was one earlier. It should still be there until tomorrow, unless other things change. Oops, I want analytics. Analytics. Come on. Yeah, the two Esdras, LDS Mormon, Latter Days, Lion and Eagle. That was, a Mormon had done a video on it, and I said, oh God, no. And so I went and corrected it with a video of my own. It was back in October 13th, 2020, and it's up to 149 views, and that's within the last 28 days. And so the first couple of months it wasn't in the top 10. Now it is, all of a sudden today, as it's showing 149 views in the last 28 days, which means it had to surpass 138 new views during this period of time in order to make the top 10. It's number 8, but so yeah, John Dehlin has a hatred for me. This is why he does not communicate with me. Wow. Okay. I thought there was a community for ex-Mormon support that John Dehlin had started up. I guess that's not correct. I guess he's just a liar face, pants on fire. Because yeah, that is kind of childish of him. He cannot have a rational conversation with me, apparently. He's afraid to communicate with me. I don't know why. He has never reached out to communicate. Never. And I don't know why. He's never given any kind of indication in any of his videos that I've by chance watched. Maybe I need to go back and see if I can dig through and find something. His videos tend to be longer than mine. But yeah, that is wild. Maybe it's because I I pointed out to the Mormon who was attacking me that he was attacking me for not telling him that what he wanted to hear was that nobody can judge the church. And I was saying, no, you can judge the church by the Constitution as well as the Book of Mormon. And the Korahor responded by, I never asked you for what the Constitution says, I want what you say. And I respond back, I noticed you didn't even bring up the Book of Mormon. And mentioned about the instance of Korahor from the Book of Mormon, by which I was able to judge him. And I guess maybe that upset John Dehlin? No, everything in the church must be false. But I don't know. There is no explanation. He has not banned me. He just deleted my string of comments. I'm the initial commenter. He didn't go and delete the chain of communication. He just banned the comment. And it's strange because he typically doesn't do that. As he goes through and puts hearts on the ones he really likes and ignores the ones he doesn't like, as I just went over with you. And so something is with me that he does not like. And he will never explain it. He's just keeping quiet, sticking to his own little world. This is exactly what Mormons do. John Dehlin is Mormon, just got excommunicated. And he's exhibiting the same baggage. I did that video not too long ago. I don't know if I can find it, because I think I made a comment in another video, but I did a baggage one last year sometime. But yeah, I have no idea. John Dehlin would benefit from me. I put it in that video. He wants to destroy the church, but he has no interest in how the church is anti-Semitic. He has no interest on how Mormons are threatening to murder me. That's what I was gonna do. Is I did the Battle of the LDS Prophets pregame show. It's kind of slow. Not too many people care. But I've told you, and someday my LDS 10 virgins will come in the millennium, that I'm a better prophet than the prophets. And I was going to go over, this video, the pregame show, was all about what a prophet should be. And then the actual Battle of the Prophets, which I'd probably title Travis Wayne Goodsell as a better prophet than the LDS Church prophets, in which I would actually go over the 4 categories plus the keys of Moses. And prophet, seer, revelator, translator, I am better at it than they are. And I'm not the one in the position, or at least claiming to be in the position. But yeah, I don't know why John Dehlin won't at least find out what I know. My LDS church history, maybe he's upset that I support Joseph Smith. I don't know, because he attacks Joseph Smith. He believes in the hearsay. He does not do actual research himself. He just trusts the information written about by modern authors. And you can't do that. You gotta do it yourself, I've found. For example, today Academia.edu sends me a daily recommendation. Today's recommendation was a guy who did a paper about how Phoenician came about from Semitic. And you may think, I have no clue what you're talking about, Travis. Well, for me, I know exactly. I'm the one who deciphered Paleo-Hebrew, which is pretty much Phoenician. And so I already know I have no interest in his paper, because he's wrong. Because what he's trying to say is that Proto-Sinaitic, which was found in the Sinai in a cave, and it had reference to Hathor, and so they think it's Egyptian related when they were in Egypt, or when Egypt was in control of the area. And see, when you have a bad theory in the beginning, you have to create a narrative to support that bad belief system. And I've done those videos here too. Mormons not living in reality, believing lies of LDS Church, for one example, most recent example. And so William Foxwell Albright is the source for that claim, as he's the one who deciphered it and found that it was Semitic. And if you don't know Semitic, it's Mesopotamian, which is Assyria and Babylon, or Iraq. And so Egyptian is a completely different language, and you can identify the differences linguistically when you do the research. And so, yes, Hebrew post-captivity is Semitic. If you're familiar with John Dehlin of John Tvetnis of Farms, I think he's now retired, I hope. I hope they're not doing what they did with Nibley, giving him an office and letting him pretend to do stuff. But he did his thesis. That's what he's known for, his thesis. He's now too old, past retirement, and he's only known for his thesis. But his thesis was about a connection he had made to extend the Semitic Hebrew theory a little bit further back. Oh, yay, good for you. I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew and found that it's not Semitic, it's more akin with Paleo-Greek, which is not considered Semitic by anybody, because it's not. But there was one author, Joshua Yehuda, or it's packed. Remember? They tried to have me assassinated during this lawsuit. And so I haven't had the ability to take time to unpack. Especially when I just got attacked again last week. But for what I have found, I'll just go over it with you, is Phoenician, or Paleo-Hebrew, as I refer to it, is the oldest alphabet. And it comes from an Egyptian culture there in the Mediterranean. And that's where Greek, Paleo-Greek also comes from. They're very similar because if you look at the script, they're exactly the same. The A, the B, the G, because there is no C, exactly the same. Greek went on to include extra characters and vowel characters, which is unique because the original alphabet has no vowels. And so when people ask me, oh, can you speak it? One, it's extinct. Two, it's pictoglyph. And thus contains ideographic meaning, which means it can be translated. That's what an ideograph is. It's levels of translation. So the sun symbol, circle, it has levels of translation. 1, the sun. 2, source of heat. 3, source of light. You see how that works? And so it was just a simple matter of taking the linear forms and comparing with the equivalent linear forms in Egyptian. Because William Foxwell Albright's claim that the Semitic phonemes are using the Egyptian picture glyphs as well, but just with a Semitic phoneme to them, it doesn't even work for that. His theory was, his decipherment claim was just complete crap. And I did a whole paper on it, which wasn't my thesis, on all the errors in his decipherment. And it was necessary to identify the errors first before I went on and then deciphered Paleo-Hebrew, because I had to see what is good from his decipherment and what isn't. And I realized I had to scrap the whole thing. I had to start all over from scratch. And so I went to the original characters, and in different areas in Israel, they had different forms. But for the most part, you'd go to the original, and you can see how they de-evolved in the different areas. But that original form corresponds with completely different Egyptian petroglyphs characters than what William Foxwell Albright was claiming from his acronym theory, is what it pretty much was. It's where the letter Aleph in Semitic Hebrew, the word represents an ox, and so he therefore considered the first letter A to be an ox head. That was his method of developing the theory, or the decipherment. And no, way off. It's way different, and there's some things he doesn't even consider. I'm the one, as the decipherer, I found that there are determinatives, that it's not a 3-character word vocabulary, it's 2. The third letter is a determinative used in Egyptian. Egyptian typically puts them at the end of a word. Depends on the author. But for Paleo-Hebrew, the determinative is always in the beginning. Now, I've gone over in my videos examples where a determinative is placed at the end, but those are usually after a 3-letter word, such as Solomon. The word for Salem, solemn, peace. And so that's already a 3-letter word with the 2 letters and the 1 determinative at the beginning, but there's a 4th letter now. What does that do? What does that character do to it? Well, it's another determinative for special occasions. And in this one, if you're referring to a place, it refers to kingdom. The N refers to kingdom. If it's an individual, as Solomon is an individual, it refers to king. And so you don't pronounce the N, so it's not Solomon, it's Solemn. King Solemn. So Set, for the adversary as Satan, it's not Satan. The N represents king. King Set. Well, where do we get Set from? Well, we have a passage that talks about the children of Set that are the bad guys, but you also have the replacement of Abel. Adam and Eve have another child after Abel is murdered, and Cain, instead of taking over the family as the tribal king, is banished. And they have a son, and they name him Seth. Set. That's Satan. That's the adversary. That's why they named him as such. And if you go back to the Egyptians, now you know why. Is because Set is the brother of Osiris, who is jealous and murders Osiris. And he becomes the king. Satan. King Set. And so, yeah, there's lots of stuff that can humiliate the current church, as I humiliated Nelson when he dared to expose himself to all Mormondom, that he is clueless about Hebrew, as he failed miserably with defining Israel. He's supposed to be Israel, and the fact that he can't even figure it out when it's given right there in Genesis, oh dear God. Every time he comes out with anything, it's just fuel to the fire, and I get to make a video on it. So I don't know what happened. John Dehlin just has shunned me. He's silenced me. He censors me now. John Dehlin censors me. As a fellow ex-Mormon, he is censoring me. Maybe he doesn't like me because I'm not an excommunicated Mormon. Or maybe I haven't turned in my papers. It's just because I just don't go to church anymore. Because I wouldn't be extorted by my bishop. So maybe that's not good enough for him. Yeah, I don't get it. Mormons and ex-Mormons alike have no interest in me. And it doesn't make any sense. So I'm all by myself. Don't want to be.